Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, your pianist, and Asaph Cafe is a musical show where every week I invite a guest, and we just talk as I play the piano. And my guest for this week is Emmett.
Yeah.
He is my guest for the Asaph Cafe today, and we're going to do something we've never done. We're going to say a prayer before we get started with this program. You want to start the prayer off?
Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, thank you for this impromptu and to be a guest on Asaph's fascinating show. I can't wait to talk about some important things and just some relaxing things, kind of a different change, but bless and protect us as we do this broadcast in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Okay, and God bless this show in Christ's name.
Yes.
Okay, ready? I'm going to start off with the traditional theme song for this program, which is my personal theme song.
Well, everyone, it's me, Emmett, the old retired punk rocker again. I forgot to bring my cane, but that's okay.
That's okay, you won't need your cane for this anyway.
Yeah, anyway, I do the a show called The Awful Truth About Society, and I've done it for 20 years. I expose the evils of society, like school, the work, the government, child abuse, and gives the solutions from a Christian and even an anarchist and punk point of view, even though I'm retired. But, as Asaph knows, and you people know who've done my show for years, I've done my show for years, not you people, but you people have seen my show for years. One of my favorite reruns is from Lewiston, Idaho, that I played the Easy Listening from KOZE-FM. Lewiston, and I think this opening thing was even probably played on
It might have been.
But I really thank you, Asaph, for bringing Easy Listening back to the airwaves, because it's been missing, and we can talk about that as well.
Okay.
But you love Lawrence Welk, and I love Easy Listening, and that's how I cut my teeth on a genre that he and I both love, which is called Easy Listening music. And I know if you people have never seen my show, and I've been a punk rocker. How can you, as a punk rocker, love Easy Listening? Well, it's actually I first discovered Easy Listening like this before punk rock, but I don't think they're exclusionary. I mean, this kind of stuff is nice when you're doing the dishes, you're doing homework. I can't remember how many times I've done homework while listening to this kind of music, either Easy KOZE-FM or Easy 102 Missoula, which used to be KUEZ. I can't remember how many times, seriously, I've studied my homework when I was in high school, and then even one time I was listening to this kind of music, KOZE-FM, and doing homework before Lewiston High School, and I had to walk to, do the dishes and that kind of thing, do housework that I had to do, and I cut my teeth, and I just loved it.
Did you grow up on this kind of music as a kid?
No, at first it was classical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mother loved.
Who was your favorite classical composer?
Haydn. I loved Haydn. I can't remember his name. Haydn something or another.
Joseph
Haydn,
All right,
yeah.
I'll do a Haydn piece for you. This is called the Surprise Symphony. You may have
I
recognized
love
it
the Surprise Symphony.
Now remember, this isn't really a piano song, so I'm kind of faking my way, but I'll do the melody for you.
Yes, I love that. I have that, yeah. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. But anyway, if I can explain how I got hooked on the format called Easy Listening, it's kind of similar. And you love the Lawrence Welk show, right? You're doing a thing of Lawrence Welk, a remake of the Lawrence Welk program.
In fact, as you already know, that's already been recorded.
Yes.
It's called, the show is called Music with Asaph.
Yes.
But the premise, it's a remake of the Lawrence Welk show, and I don't know if you know, PBS picked up the pilot
Oh, that's wonderful.
So hopefully by this fall we'll start taping this brand new Lawrence Welk show. And they gave me the ballroom at the university. You know that big ballroom?
That is fantastic.
Yeah, and they gave me permission to put the chandeliers up. So we're going to recreate the entire Lawrence Welk show. The only difference is we're going to be doing more modern music, but in that Welk style.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, but anyway, when I was about, good gravy, 15 or so, I don't know how I found the Lawrence Welk show. I don't know how was I flipping through the channels, but this is really nice stuff. I really love, and you know, the 1 and the 2, and you're gonna
I've
have
got
to do
my
that.
baton.
Well, yes, wonderful, wonderful. Isn't that absolutely wonderful? Listen to that applause. Oh, I can't. Well, that is wonderful, and we've got another new guest, you know, some champagne lady, Norma Zimmer, just sing it for you. And I just loved Lawrence Welk. He was so wonderful with children.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The Christmas specials were wonderful.
This is why I want to bring his show back to life, because they don't have that kind of entertainment anymore.
That's the problem, and that's what I really wanted to talk about, too. They don't. The Halloween specials were hilarious. They were hilarious. They were unintentionally funny, in a good way. I mean,
I know what you mean.
The scary thing for, you know, old people, but it was meant to be serious, but it ended up, I just cracked up in a good way.
Well, you know what I liked about that, I don't celebrate Halloween, but
nor
with the
do I,
Lawrence Welk show, it didn't focus on the occultic side, the dark side. It just had a little fun things set up around just because it was that time of year. But, they did like Thanksgiving and
I loved the
Christmas
Thanksgiving.
shows.
I loved the Christmas shows. They were adorable. All the kids and everything.
Well, my parents, they weren't watching the Lawrence Welk show. My mother would have the television on when I was a kid growing up. She'd be in the kitchen cooking, and my father would be working in the house, and the music of the Lawrence Welk show was on in our household. Yeah,
that's wonderful. Well, anyway, I guess how I really discovered it was it Christmas of 1983. My uncle and aunt gave me a radio for Christmas. It came in the mail. I had never had a radio. I think I'd had one in Tucson because I was born in Tucson, then moved to Lewiston, Idaho. Yeah.
Okay.
This is in Lewiston, Idaho, just in Idaho, if you know where Lewiston is.
I know of it.
It used to be a beautiful place. And flowers, trees, they made it really yuppified. I did a 5-part special on that, call it The Antichrist, Destroy Small Towns. And I did play the music from KOZE-FM, the easy listening.
Okay.
But I was listening to this radio, and I was just flipping through the channels at FM, and it's like, first it was, I think I'd heard it a few years ago, but didn't really latch on to it, and then it was this Christmas music. I thought, don't listen to this. But I later learned it was KOZE-FM. Easy listening music.
Okay.
And I thought, what's easy listening? Is that like Lawrence Welk? Well, it's a little different than hard rock, like rock music. Maybe if it's easy to listen to, I'll give it a whirl. So then after the Christmas, because most easy listening stations, when they used to have them, they would gradually have more and more Christmas music until Christmas Day when they had nothing but wall-to-wall Christmas music.
Yeah.
Then the next day, December 26th, back to the regular easy listening format. So the next day, I started listening and I just got hooked. It was so... It's not like classical, it's not as heavy, but there's just something beautiful about it. This could be, an easy listening and that kind of thing. It's just hard to describe. A lot of violins, some piano, some other flute, some other stuff, and it's like... I started recording it because I had a tape recorder and just put this big earphone radio on tape recorder and started recording, and I realized this would be nice to do homework to if I'm studying. It's nice to do dishes too. And I have about 4 tapes of KOZE-FM Lewiston, because I knew if I ever had to move, it'd be best if I just recorded the best of. I call it the best of, and I played some of that on my show, The Awful Truth About Society. But Percy Faith is one of my favorite artists, and he's covered, what was that song? A Summer Place.
Okay. I wouldn't know that one to play on the piano.
Oh, it's my favorite. It is just haunting. It's just beautiful. It reminds you of flowers and trees. I'm not a big Beatles fan, but have you ever heard Yesterday covered in easy listening style?
Well, I can play my version of Yesterday for you.
Certainly Yesterday. And I thought that was beautiful. And I played that on The Awful Truth About Society with, picture that I had of Lewiston. And it was a beautiful, violins and flutes, and I was like, what is this beautiful music? It's incredible. And he was even kind of had a few surprises, like dun dun, they were playing on the piano, they're playing, and it was like, dun, or a guitar, dun dun, dun dun, it was gorgeous. Well, anyway, I know one of the heartbreaks of my life, I had to move away from Lewiston, Idaho to Missoula, Montana. That was one of the heartbreaks of my life. I had some very close friends over there. It's getting a bit cold.
That's okay, I understand.
And I tell you, I was going to miss that radio station so much. I'm glad I recorded what I could, just on that old radio. And just the first thing I wondered when I got to Missoula in 1984, June, did they have an easy listening station? They did, but it was only from Kalispell. I'd heard of another one, K something or another, but I couldn't find it on the dial. I think it was something you had to special order. I'm not sure. I couldn't find it because I tried everything on the dial.
Okay.
Just KALS from Kalispell, and they would play some easy listening in the daytime, then some gospel or something else later on. But it was just basic.
Okay.
And I just almost brokenhearted. There was no really easy listening. What was I going to do? Thankfully, was it late 1984 when I was watching Star Trek or something else, and it came on an advertisement for the new easy listening station in town, the Music Missoula, and they had a violin here on a table like this, and some fruit, a nice glass of wine, candles and a violin, and the Music Missoula relaxes to Easy 102 KUEZ 102.5 FM. So I had to listen to this, and it wasn't the greatest at first. They didn't have a big stock of the easy listening. Then later, it had a bigger stock and a bigger stock.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. It was Sheila Callahan was the general manager.
And they were just playing nothing but easy listening music.
24 hours a day. They had commercials.
They're still doing that now?
No.
Oh.
I can tell you the de-evaluation, not evolution, devolution, or whatever you want to call it, of that beautiful station. Really took off in 1985. It was only on for a couple of years, about a year and a half practically. And I was then exposed to Gordon Lightfoot and Neil Diamond at that time because of that station. They had instrumentals, but a lot of other stuff, even some other instrumentals of some other artists I don't quite know. But even just some, You and Me Against the World. Have you ever heard that song?
I've heard that title.
Against the world, about a mother and a daughter just loving each other, Let's see, how did it go? Remember when the circus came to town and you were frightened by the clown? Was it nice to be around someone that you knew? And I was
that one I don't know, but keep going.
And then I was doing housework and, doing my homework as usual. Someone that you knew, someone who was big and strong and looking out for you.
Okay. Do you know any songs that you could sing that I can play in the background since you?
You and me. Sometimes it feels just like you and me against the world. I can't remember. And when one of us is gone, and when one of us is left to carry on, within remembering we'll have to do memories of me and you. Remember the day of me and you.
I'm just trying to follow along there,
the world, or something like. I don't remember the whole thing. It was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, and that's how I was introduced to a lot of these, and it's just instrumentals, and I've got a ton of that recorded, of KUEZ FM. Missoula, Montana. K102.5. The Music Missoula, where the music's right, and the listening's easy. The Music Missoula relaxes to Easy 102, and I just loved it. Then I moved out on my own. In my first apartment down on 3rd when I moved to Missoula, trying to get back to Lewiston, they started changing. they started getting more yuppified. They would play a beautiful, easy listening song, then a modern song, kind of more like Barbra Streisand, you know, I've never loved this way again, kind of soft rock.
Okay.
Something you'd see in a big city. I called up and complained repeatedly. Can you get back the old easy listening? There was a time I kind of stopped, I kind of gave up on the station. It wasn't playing anything, and then it stopped. Now it's called 102 The Point. It's all modern music, kind of 80s, 90s music, and they say no boring elevator music either. Well, I love elevator music. Mm-hmm. And I was brokenhearted. And I don't know about the bigger cities, but it's like those free, easy listening stations, like you're talking about, that entertainment is gone now. I don't know what happened, but in the late 80s and the 90s, it just fell apart. And the only thing I was left with was my old tapes, maybe a few old records, because I'd get them at secondhand stores of Percy Faith or some other. Mm-hmm. And when thankfully, I'd graduated from high school. I don't know how I would have gone through high school without 24 hours, listening to all that music over and over again. Just turn on Easy 102, but that's still radio, and leave it on when I'm studying. Something like this, just studying my notes, studying criminology and whatever. I don't know how I would have gone through high school and junior high without that music. Well, and thankfully I got into another form of music, punk rock, which is completely different, that I just love, but I still loved easy listening. And there have been other variations like what I called new age or contemporary instrumental, which I love, which is more soft guitar, which is gorgeous. I can't even remember some of their artists right now. I should. Michael Hedges I love, and some others, and let's see, Wyndham Hill. Have you ever heard the Wyndham Hill label or Narada?
Yes, I have.
Beautiful, beautiful music. I wish I had the permissions to play it, but they had Wyndham Hill guitar samplers, and I just loved them. And some other stuff like this, and they even had let's see, at least one good show on KUEZ, which was in the 80s, late 80s. And what was it called? Portraits and Sound, and it played all that beautiful stuff, and even sort of the Wind Machine and other stuff that I've tried to find. Well, I'm not plugging products. You cannot promote products on any cable access show on MCAT. So I'm not saying go out and buy this or buy cable television, but if you're watching this on Charter, they always, unless you get really basic, they have music choice channels, just on channel 4, see, what is it? They changed everything. 426 is Toddler Tunes. I think it's 492, that Soundscapes, and 4... I should know this by heart. The easy... 947. You put on the remote 947. The easy listening. Well, at first I didn't think I was going to get the music choice channels because I just had basic, and I thought, well, I'm doing the dishes, and I still love Lawrence Welk because they had it on syndication from PBS, so that was my one foray each week in easy listening. That's why I always do the dishes on Saturday night and housework to listen to Lawrence Welk, live easy listening. It's one thing to listen to your tapes over and over and over again, and your easy listening records of Percy Faith are those over and over till you're sick of them.
Yeah, well, again, getting back to Lawrence Welk, I got exposed to it just through my parents' spot. I was growing up. The television would be on, and they'd be working, and I'd sometimes sit in front of the television and just watch the band and stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it's funny because I never thought in those years that someday I would be recreating the very show that I used to watch as a child. It's funny how life works out like that.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot. There was a kind of a cable radio thing they had in the mid-90s or early 90s, DMX.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was on, I can't even remember, something communications. It was for $6 extra, and you'd have to hook it up to your boombox stereo. And they would play easy listening. They had an easy listening choice type of thing. You just got a little dealie, kind of like this, and just I would push the buttons, and it was easy listening. They even had heavy metal and some alternative and that kind of thing, and I recorded some of that, so at least I got that for a bit. Then they changed it. They don't have DMX anymore, but they had this plug-in that looks like this. You could make your TV stereo, and I could put my TV into my record player, They even had a few easy listening stations, thankfully. But then
Okay.
that fell apart for some reason. I have my old FM splitter somewhere that I kept as a souvenir. But anyway, all I could really do for easy listening was listen to my old tapes and records. But
Right.
well, one night I was doing the dishes and decided I'll just see how unhappy it is that I can't get the Music Choice channels on Charter. I did.
Okay.
And one of them was easy listening without commercial interruptions, 24 hours a day. Easy listening. It's like I pinched myself. Am I dreaming? This is wonderful. I've got easy listening back. I can listen to 24/7. They've got 2 stations I like: Smooth Jazz, which is like music,
yeah. I'm familiar with it.
which I love, and of course, easy listening. I love it, and even some of the old stuff from KUEZ FM. There's only one thing that I don't like, one artist I don't like. They play way too much Mantovani.
Okay.
I know you may love Mantovani.
He's alright.
I do not like Mantovani.
Really?
Too much dance and romance. You know that song Fascination.
Let me play that for you.
Oh, please don't torture me. Please don't. It kind of sounds like you're on a pretentious date, like on Valentine's Day, and that, and trying to entertain a rich girlfriend and pretend you're rich, like, I want some of Mother Best wine. Now, my young lady, my love, I didn't get where I am today with all sorts of poverty. I got through hard work, and now I own my airline, of course, and I'm a yuppie with millions of dollars. Oh, your most expensive champagne, and I don't even have the money for it. I'm paying on a credit card to impress a girl. It reminds me of that dance and romance, French yuppies in love, being wealthy and powerful, and of course my hotels I own, and that's why I'm at this cafe entertaining this lovely lady with all this money I'm throwing around. It's just, to me, that's not easy listening. Easy listening is about flowers and trees and children playing at your feet, not romance. I'm not much of a romantic.
Okay, well, we just had our Valentine's Day, so we'll keep that in mind. You're not a romantic guy, but you're an easy listening guy, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I even love toddler tunes. That's completely different. But
Toddler tunes, huh? Well, this this toddler song here.
They have a station called Toddler Tunes. For the babies, stuff like, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and... The wheels on the bus go round and round, all the way through town, that kind of thing, and some stuff from Sesame Street and the Wiggles. I love it. What?
We'll do it.
I just love it. Hilarious. They play the really happy stuff from about 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then they have what I call the slumber set from 6 p.m. till 4 a.m. to get the babies to bed, just even on lullaby renditions of U2, lullaby renditions of the Beatles or Dolly Parton. Incredible. I just love it. Now, I love Sprout TV and that kind of thing, but that's kind of my history with easy listening. I still love punk rock, but that's how I got into easy listening. It's incredible. It's a music genre all to itself, kind of like this stuff. It's just, so I'm really glad you're recreating the easy listening that we all used to love and they don't have anymore. And I think it is awful that they don't have free easy listening stations in Missoula or anywhere else. Now I've got to pay a lot of money just for what I used to get on the radio for free. I think it's awful.
Well, we'll have some fun. We'll do that first children's song. That is a song called the Underdog Song.
Never heard of it.
Oh, where is my underdog? Oh, where can he be? Well, you probably don't know the 1960s cartoon called Underdog.
I don't.
He had a girlfriend named Sweet Polly. And these cartoons, what I liked about them, they were animals. The animals were the stars at that time instead of the creepy cartoons of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So Underdog was like this beagle cartoon, and he had a girlfriend, and they talked, and whenever she got in trouble by the bad guy, she was saying, oh, where is my underdog? And he'd hear it, and he'd fly to her rescue. And that's what this is. This song is called. It's the Underdog Song. That used it for a children's song that I did.
Oh wait, I have heard it.
Yeah.
My stepdad used to sing it all the time. I made my own song to that you can keep singing. It was my first surreal song. I sang it in the lunch line all the time at school.
Yeah, it's a neat little children's song, and I've brought that song back to life, and I played for you on this here twice.
But I totally changed the words.
You can change the words. It doesn't have to be the underdog.
Exactly.
It's just that melody.
It is. It's a catchy melody is what it is. Yeah.
Well, let's go back and do some of this children's stuff. Did you watch much children's television when you were a kid growing up?
Well, yeah, but it was the science fiction stuff.
Okay,
it wasn't the other.
I mean the educational. Like, did you ever watch Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop?
Never heard of it, but I loved Sesame Street. I was one of the first Sesame Street kids, you know. Yeah, and they played that on Toddler Tunes, you know.
Okay, we'll have fun with these children's songs here.
Yeah. But anyway, I just don't know why the quality of music has had to go down over these years. I really miss easy listening. I kind of wish I could get permissions from whoever, like over at KUEZ or KMS or whoever, to play that old easy listening, but you've got to have permissions from the people here. You have different permissions from the radio stations or the musicians themselves to play it on the air. That old music you've recorded on the air. I don't have the permissions, I can't play it. Somehow I tracked down whoever did KUZ FM, got the people over there, and they approved it. They wanted me to play it. They didn't mind. Yeah. Oh, KOZ FM Lewiston. It's gone. Yeah. When I tried to move back there, they still had it. But then they quit that. And you see, I guess there were some old people. One of the old people died, and it was 3 old people that was running the station, and they still had all the tapes, so they moved it to the Weather Channel. So you can still get all the stuff from the Weather Channel if you want to turn on the Weather Channel. But they changed the whole format to rock and roll.
Okay.
I was so crushed. No more KOZE FM Lewiston.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you like children's songs and things like that, because children's songs are delightful. They're fun.
Exactly.
You don't hear them every day, so it's kind of fun when I recreate them and stuff.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, here's a song that children like. It's not a children's song, but they adore it. And I won't tell you the name of it. I won't do the whole thing, but I'll give a piece of it. And I think you'll know this song.
Tchaikovsky.
Close.
Or is that Rachmaninoff?
Beethoven.
Oh yeah, Beethoven. Rhapsody in Blue. That's right. Of course.
This is called the Farrellese.
And I've heard it.
Yeah, children. They use it in children's stuff all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Children love this song.
But anyway, yeah, I still love punk rock, but easy listening is my second passion, you know. And I do love some heavy metal. I'm eclectic on a lot of stuff. What I don't like is top 40.
Okay.
That bores me.
I can understand that.
Top 40 bores me. I like some 80s music, and the reason why is because it brings back memories of the 80s.
Okay.
The 80s were a good time. They weren't the 90s and the horrible stuff, but they had some bad stuff going. But middle of the road, like I hate ZZ Top.
Really? Okay. Well, I wouldn't be able to do anything by that group anyway.
Please don't torture us. As a matter of fact, I was living kind of nearby. I heard them in the stadium where they were playing, and they were playing so loud that I couldn't get away from it. And
so you saw this group ZZ Top in real life?
I didn't. I just had to be subjected to them in my neighborhood when they were playing last year. Over in the stadium, and it played it loud. You know, she's, I can't stand it. I can't get away from it.
Okay.
We were subjected to it whether we liked it or not.
Yeah, well, that's the rock concert for you, or top 40, or rhythm and blues, whatever they call it.
Oh, not my style of music. What a way to, even my friend down the way, he didn't like it either. Oh boy, I don't like the middle of the road stuff, you know. I just don't, you know.
The music I had the most difficulty with, and I'm not going to win a popularity contest, was country music. Ugh.
Yeah, at first I didn't.
Oh, I hear that country, I'm like, oh God, please kill me, not country music. But there's a lot of people that like it.
I've grown a fondness for country music, and I think it's because, and I know this is a G-rated show, so I can't get in, but I had heard some bad things about what was going on in America, and some bad bills being passed in Congress, and I thought they've passed it. Our country is finished. Christian morality is down the tubes.
Well, maybe some of the lyrics on country music might add to that too. Who knows?
And I don't agree. I wanted something sad. I didn't feel like punk rock, but at that time, I wanted something that would be lonely music, sad music, about how we've lost America. And I thought maybe I'll try the country music station in Missoula. And I was having a beer, and it was raining, and I just felt in the mood for it, and I was hooked on country music from then on. I don't listen to it near as much as I did, and I had a country music phase, but for me, it always talked about basic redneck values and just basic, we gotta get back to America, and I do like the beer drinking stuff. I love the country music where it's like, I'm more redneck than you, I have a more rundown trailer than you, I'm in my trailer court drinking my beer, twang, twang. That is hilarious. I love that stuff. Or, I met all my wives in traffic jams. It's not something women like about a pickup. Man,
okay, well, I tell you, the country music that I can deal with, if I were going to listen to country music, I'd rather listen to the country of the past. Way back, we're talking like Buck Owens, which our audience probably won't even remember him. Mm-hmm. Buck Owens, or what's her name, Loretta Lynn.
Yeah, it was okay. I prefer the newer country. That's about.
Well, I'll tell you why I like the older is because the way it was played and with the nasally sound, it was very believable to me. To listen to country, because this new country, it all sounds like rock and roll to me.
Well, I kind of like that interspersion of rock and roll, beer drinking, and it's
well,
just
no,
hilarious.
I'm not talking about the lyrics. I'm just talking about the way the music is played, the rhythmic music.
I almost prefer that better than the older country. Yeah, I just couldn't get into the old. It's just one of those things. Now that we've got the easy listening station, toddler tunes, I listen to that a lot more than country. But I was when I was a kid, I couldn't stand country either. A teenager, young adult, especially in my young punk years, I couldn't stand country either. Then maybe I was old enough for it. And just I've got a lot of country tapes that are recorded from whatever the radio stations here, but it's just I just don't like top 40, and I don't like Italian love songs.
Really?
I hate them. Yeah.
So you're not a Dean Martin fan, huh?
Dean Martin?
Yeah, he did a lot of those Italian songs.
No, I don't know. Don't know Dean Martin. Don't know. But with me, it's either punk rock or it's easy listening or even death metal.
Okay.
And I literally, on my tapes that because I record them, I either have easy listening from channel 947.
Okay.
Or then if I turn heavy metal, it's and then we go back to toddler tunes. So it's an eclectic mix of either the most beautiful music like this or death metal.
Okay.
But nothing in between. Just nothing in between,
Okay, I see.
I'm really extreme one way or the other. One time I even bought in the store, I had enough money, I bought 2 tapes, audio tapes. You remember audio tapes?
Yes, I do.
And I decided I wanted a tape of Lawrence Welk.
Really?
Polka and waltz time.
Okay.
And that was very good. But I wanted a tape of Ministry, live Ministry. That's angry industrial metal, in case you didn't feel like showing up. And and I played them back to back. You don't get more of a contrast than, Lawrence Welk's Polka and waltz time, and then of course Al Jorgensen screaming at the top of his lungs, blah, 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 that kind of thing,
All right.
I just love it. You run out of life, you run out of time, and then back to Polka and waltz time with Lawrence Welk. What a way to play them back to back. It was wonderful, and I had the receipt somewhere. I think I lost it, but yeah, I saved the receipts.
Well, with our techno age, they don't have the cassette tapes much, and the 8 tracks especially much anymore.
I didn't care for 8 tracks, but I loved cassette tapes. I wish they would make more of them.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to find. I've got a few of them.
I got tons of them, but anyway, that's Yeah, the CDs are okay, but they're expensive. Tapes were a lot less expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a cassette, I think, for 50 cents in a thrift shop these days now.
Yeah,
and
that's
some
good.
you can even have with the wrapping that's never been opened. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
And they have the old, I guess, music of the 40s and 50s.
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So, wow, we've gone about 35 minutes into this program already, and it seems like it went by so quickly.
I know.
So we got a little bit more time, but I just wanted to thank you for being a guest on the cafe. This is interesting and fun.
Yeah, it is. How much longer do we have? How much longer time do you want us to continue talking, or would you?
Oh, you can keep on talking. We got some time. I usually try to get about a half hour to 40 minutes at least on an episode of the cafe. This is just a fun little impromptu show that I do every Thursday.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait.
You'll see it. I'm going to get you a copy of this program today that you can take with you, and it should air about maybe 2 weeks from now.
Wonderful.
Well, because I've taped some of these shows in advance, so I have to let them play first.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I do when I do my thing. But I can't believe it. PBS is picking up your other show about the Lawrence Welk recreation.
They're picking up the Lawrence Welk remake. I just have to get the proper funding for it. I have 2 local sponsors, but I need 1 major sponsor.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like God has blessed me, and we'll see what happens. We'll just see.
Oh, there's only one thing that really disappointed me. I do have Lawrence Welk's book. I gotta think it.
Is that the Wonderful Autobiography?
Yes, I have that.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
I don't have it, but I'm familiar with it.
I've reread it and reread it and reread it. And reread it, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. He's such a sweet guy, but he wanted his musical family, if anything happened to him, to pick up where he left off. He was trying to train his kids, the youth training program.
Yeah, I have seen his son, Lawrence Welk Jr. He did some hosting. I don't know if they're doing that anymore, because you got to remember the people in that generation are just about gone now, and the rest of them are like in their 70s or 80s. I looked them up recently.
Oh,
because I'm doing this Lawrence Welk thing, so I
thought a lot of them were younger for some reason, like his kids. He called his kids.
Well, he had a son.
Younger.
He had a son, Lawrence Welk Jr., who directed on the show every once in a while.
Yeah, I thought for some reason, his book, I thought he had a lot of younger kids.
He did, but you got to remember that was then. This is 2015
That is right. Now. It's amazing how things...
Time flies.
It does.
Yeah, and I invited Arthur Duncan, the dancer, the African-American dancer.
Yeah, is he still alive?
Yeah, I'd like him.
Oh, he is.
I contacted him recently, and if his health allows, I'd like him to come to Montana when we start taping this new.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Show,
I love Arthur Duncan
in the background. Yeah, Arthur
fantastic.
Duncan, yeah.
But anyway, after Lawrence Welk died, I can't remember what year Lawrence died. Do you remember the year?
Yeah, he died. We lost him in '92. But you got to remember, his show aired on ABC in 1955.
That's right. That is right.
So none of us were even here at that time when that show aired. And it was on television for 30 years on ABC. And the reason ABC canceled it, which I think sucks.
Oh, wasn't it ridiculous?
They canceled it because he got physically older. So they called themselves wanting to look for a younger audience.
I remember that on the book.
And all that did was made his show more popular, because then it got picked up in syndication.
Yes.
And they were running those, and then when syndication ended, it wound up on PBS. So if you add all those years, that's over 50 years. So now when you watch the reruns, and it says Lawrence Welk Show over 50 years, that's the reason, because of all the 30 years on ABC, the syndication, and the PBS, and you add it up, it's 50 years.
So his kids were never really able to pick up the band and pick up where they left off. They were too old to do this, or what was it?
I think maybe, when kids grow up, they may not necessarily follow in their parents' footsteps.
Yeah.
I wrote about that in my autobiography. That, you'll see, let's say an actor, a famous actor from the past, and, then they have a family, right? And they have children, and then their kids are like acting at first, right? When they're little. But then when those kids grow up, they're going to start having other interests. So they may not necessarily follow in their parents' footsteps.
Yeah.
So answer your question about Lawrence Welk, I can't speak for Lawrence Welk Jr. I've never met him. I can only assume that as he got older, he started doing other things.
Yeah,
instead of being a band leader like his father
I was hoping the musical family would continue the legacy that Lawrence Welk did.
Well, that's
and
what
do
I'm
it
going
the
to
way
do.
they did.
I'm going to do
That's
that.
wonderful. Because they would have Lawrence Welk reunions.
Right, I know. I've got a copy of that.
And they disappointed me very much. I tried to get into them, but it was more about Hollywood and dancing in Hollywood
Well, you
and
got to
trying to
remember
that
these
just
people
broke my heart,
were
you know.
way past their prime. Like
That's a good point,
I have a copy of one of the Lawrence Welk reunions when these people were like really physically older, like in their 60s and 70s, I guess then, and it's not the same. I mean,
That's
voice.
a good point.
Yeah, like some of these people, their voices change as they get older.
Yeah.
Some get physically weaker, or some can't quite maneuver like they did when they're in their prime.
Yeah. Well, that's what's honestly happened.
And that's sad with the aging process, which is going to happen to everybody. It's just
It's
sad.
already happened to me. That's why I'm not a punk rocker anymore. I have the punk beliefs, but I retired because I physically just couldn't do the slam dancing anymore and keep up with the kids. So
Yeah.
I've experienced this. I'm 47, you know.
You're 40s. Oh, you're a pup compared to me. I'll be 57 this year.
I thought you were 47 or about my
Are
age.
you kidding me?
You look younger than you are.
Well, maybe, but no, I'll be 57 this year, and I can't do a lot of things physically that I used to, because I used to run track.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, I ran cross country in the 440 and the 880. And I was pretty good at it too. And how I got trained with cross country, I come from a military family, so they had this cross country course at the school I went to when we lived in Taiwan. It was like this road up on a mountain, and it took you a literal hour to run that course. It was like this obstacle course that they had set up. That's how I started building up the stamina at the time for cross country.
Interesting.
But by the time I got into my 30s, it was just starting to slow down. It's really slowed down now that I'm in my 50s. I can't do that anymore like I once could.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah, well, that explains kind of some of my old age because I failed,
And it explains the thing when we're talking about the Lawrence Welk. These people get older and you get disappointed. You expect them in their 60s and 70s to do what they did in their 20s and 30s. And
They can't. That's a good point.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
Yeah, Norma Zimmer, is she still alive
No,
or not?
she's gone. I looked up the whole cast of the Lawrence Welk show. Norma Zimmer is gone. And
Myron Florin, isn't he
he's
passed
gone,
away
too.
of a heart attack?
They're all long gone. These
Whoa.
people passed away a long time ago. Because you got to remember, like I said, it was 1955 when they were
You're
in
right.
their heyday. And they were probably, in their 30s then, I would think. Most of them.
I just had a horrible thought.
What's that?
We were talking about easy listening stations and that kind of thing. You don't think one reason they're not happening anymore is because the people that were owning these easy listening stations have passed away or are too old to do this?
No,
or like
I
KLZEF or...
That could be part of it, but I think it's mostly times have changed.
Yeah.
You don't, like when we were talking about the cartoons earlier, you don't see cartoons like, the Underdog cartoon or Tennessee Tuxedo or any of those cartoons from the past. The cartoons that are now are really sinister, creepy, icky looking.
Yeah.
You don't see the television shows like Gilligan's Island.
Which I loved. I have all 3 seasons on DVD, and I love it. Yeah.
See, my point is, that kind of humor worked for that time.
Uh-huh.
But times have changed and new generations come up, and some people that were big fans of the Monkees or Gilligan's Island or all those other shows, they look at them shows now like, ugh.
I still love
And
them.
I think it's the same. Well, I do too. I think it's the same with the music thing. And answer your question, I think it's a combination of times changing, people getting physically older, that they don't do the Lawrence Welk stuff. So what I'm going to do is bring it back to life.
Wonderful.
I want to bring the Lawrence Welk show back to life, and we're going to do everything in that style with the gowns. Like you saw the pilot to my show.
Yes, wonderful.
But we'll just do more modern music so that people can relate.
Well, you mean
That's
you're not
all.
doing easy listening?
No, it'll be easy listening.
Okay.
But it'll be in the Lawrence Welk style.
I see.
It has to be in that style to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Are you
But
gonna
more modern music, but in the Lawrence Welk style. Like, for example, suppose you had a female barbershop quartet, and they're singing Cyndi Lauper's "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," but in the
I don't know if that would work. How about Neil Diamond or Gordon Lightfoot? Do you want to do any covers of those? Neil Diamond?
I'm gonna do do some Neil Diamond and
I love Neil Diamond.
yeah,
Gordon Lightfoot is beautiful.
Yeah, of course. We're going to do all of that stuff because it can't be the stuff that Lawrence Welk did because it would really be outdated. But if you do it in the Lawrence Welk style, more modern songs like your Neil Diamond and maybe a Michael Jackson song.
I love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but do it in the Lawrence Welk style.
Wonderful.
And it'll work. And so that's what I'm attempting to do. I want to bring the Lawrence Welk show back. And another thing, this is a real good point, and I've had people that have seen my pilot, people from all ages. In fact, a guy in his 70s walked up to me recently. He said, Asaph, I saw your pilot, and all we want you to do is make a clean show. I've had more people ask me to make a clean show. I want a show that's family oriented again. And I'm not being critical, like when you watch Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and they're like bouncing here and popping out of their clothes. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm just saying I want to do a family show. Where you can have your grandchildren sitting and not have to worry. That's what my goal is, to do that. That's
wonderful.
See?
But I thought your pilot was clean. I saw
it is clean.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But I'm talking about when we do the weekly series, it's got to be in the Lawrence Welk style, just like the pilot.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Now, as far as clean cartoons, I do love. I'm not plugging products, but it's on Charter anyway. I love Sprout TV.
Okay.
They have toddler cartoons like Poppy Cat or Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay.
I love those. They're sweet. They're adorable. Caillou is adorable.
Well, see, okay, when I was a kid, you probably won't know this. We had cartoons like Fearless Fly. I don't know if you even
never heard of it.
He was this little insect fly that lived in a matchbox, and he had this super strength like Mighty Mouse, and he wore these glasses. And so when you took the glasses off, he became an ordinary fly. But when he put the glasses on, he had this super strength. And they had this thing at the beginning. Insecticide cannot stop him. A fly swatter cannot stop him, and this fly swatter goes right through him. He stands there like this. You know? It's called Fearless Fly. It's probably on YouTube now.
Yeah, probably. But,
I had those are the cartoons I watched as a kid, and there were a lot of other fun cartoons that we watched, like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I love that. My sister and I loved that show.
Yeah, and so let's do some of this. This is from the Fractured Fairy Tales. Do you remember this one?
No, I don't remember. Never heard of the show. Yeah, Caillou is more about kind of educational. A kid who's 4 who explores and does various things, but very nice, very innocent.
Yeah, they were all the cartoons of the 60s, 50s, and 60s were innocent cartoons. They weren't like evil, like trying to take over the world, kill somebody, and all that. They were just fun.
Well,
good beating up bad, and stuff.
Well, I do like the old 80s cartoons like Transformers. I love the old 80s.
That was okay. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Fascinating! And I would look at the lasers and I'd go, oh, it's fascinating! Lasers!
Yeah, well, there wasn't much of that. It's just that same. I'll do it again.
Yeah, incredible. I've got a lot of that on videotape. Oh, and I wish they would bring back old videotapes instead of these DVDs you have to record. I wish they would bring back, have tons of old videotapes.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I miss videotape.
Well, maybe they will bring it back someday.
Well,
I know another thing that was fun to watch. Do you remember Schoolhouse Rock?
No.
This was like in the 70s. They were like these 5-minute educational cartoons that used to come on at the top of the hour, before the top of the hour on Saturdays. And they taught math and English. And the most popular one was one called Conjunction Junction. Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Hooking up phrases and clauses together. It was just a cute little...
Wonderful. Mostly I watched science fiction cartoons is what I liked in the 70s.
Well, they had a few science fiction cartoons. Like, do you remember the Star Trek cartoon?
That was okay. It wasn't near as good as the original series. It was okay. I watched it.
Yeah, I used to watch that cartoon.
Yeah.
And they had other cartoons like Spider-Man.
That was good.
I'm talking about the original Spider-Man, the one that went like this. Remember this?
Yes, vaguely. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But those were innocent cartoons, so they had a bunch of those kind of cartoons. They had Lassie, the cartoon. You probably wouldn't know that one.
No, I don't.
They had King Kong. There was a cartoon called King Kong I used to watch, and it went something like this.
Boy, I don't remember that at all.
I'm sorry,
No, that's all right. Fascinating.
It was 10 times as big as a man,
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, you can probably look up all these old cartoons on YouTube, but those are the kind of cartoons I watched as a kid.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
The original Archies. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do.
Cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear they killed off the character of Archie?
No, I did not hear that.
Well, yeah, that was on the world news because Archie, the Archie comics, Jughead and
which I never cared for.
And Betty and Veronica and all the rest of the characters, they were just all happy-go-lucky cartoon characters, and Reggie was the bad guy that always kind of got the kids, the mischievous kid. But now, you know, with this political correct world we live in, Archie was defending some gay person or something, a gay friend, and he was killed for it. And that's how they ended the Archie comics. And if I were the creator of Archie, I would have never done that. I would never have killed that character off. I think they made a big mistake. And so naturally it's going to make the world news. So they showed Archie dead with a gunshot wound. And that's crazy. See, that kills the original concept of the Archie comics as far as I'm concerned.
It does,
And I'm not picking on gay people or anything. I'm just saying that they shouldn't have killed Archie's character. That's crazy.
I don't even think they should have had gay characters to begin with, because it's supposed to be for kids. And
I know, and you know, I think there's a place for if you're gay, but not with Archie.
Right, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly.
So you don't have to write me if you're gay, because I have a brother that's gay, so I'm not here to pick on gay folks.
Yeah, I'm not here doing my awful truth about
I'm not here to
society.
cast stones. I'm just defending an Archie character, and I think they made a mistake. Killing off Archie's character, so now they can't use that character obviously anymore. But my point is, getting back to the cartoons, they had more simpler. It was a simpler time. Fun television shows, fun comic shows, or I should say cartoon shows and stuff like that. So,
actually, one thing, I know we're probably going to wrap up soon. It's about 2:15.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
But you know, on Cartoon Network.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
I'm actually bored by Cartoon Network. If they try to show science fiction, the animation is terrible. They're trying to go back to this 1920s animation. It is just politically correct, and none of it makes any sense. I prefer the old animation from the 80s, Transformers,
I remember
G.I. Joe. Some of those animations were beautiful and beautifully animated.
Well, you know, in the old days, speaking of animation, have you ever been to California?
No, I think maybe once when I was 2.
This might interest you. You remember the Flintstones and the Jetsons and all those? Well, I've been to the Hanna-Barbera studio where they used to make those cartoons. And in those days, they didn't have the computer stuff that we have, so they would literally hand sketch these cartoon characters. So when I took my tour at the Hanna-Barbera studio at that time, they had literal portraits. Professional portraits with glass coverings of all the characters like Adamant and Fred Flintstone, and it was like this corridor, this hallway of all the characters. Snagglepuss, I don't know if you remember that. Mighty Mouse, all of them. They were all
interesting.
They had all the cartoon characters in a literal glass portrait, and they were the real drawings like of each character that they had glass framed. And I thought that was the most impressive part of the Hanna-Barbera studio tour at that time when I went through it in California. Yeah, they had every cartoon of the past there. That was Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. They were all there.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun tour. I don't know if they're doing that now in 2015 because with the computer age, it's changed.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Well, anyway, maybe it's about time to wrap up because I think, but maybe we should pray again. And
all right, but let me make some acknowledgments first.
Certainly.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope you've enjoyed this latest version of Asaph Cafe, talking about cartoons and a lot of the fun things.
Easy listening. Easy listening genre, yes.
And my guest is Emmett, and he's also a frequent producer here at the MCAT studio, so you can catch his show sometime
Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, yes.
Say the name of your show again.
The Awful Truth About Society.
So you can tune into that show, or you can tune in to Wake Up Missoula with Noelle McAvoy. Sorry, Noelle. She's a real sweetie, by the way, if she's watching. Or you can watch my show, Asaph Cafe, or any other wonderful shows on this network here. I'll let you pray us out.
Yeah. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, thank you so much for this wonderful time with Asaph and to be a guest on the show to talk about easy listening and some very important topics. Continue to bless and protect us, oh God, in Jesus' holy name.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Asaph Cafe. And until our next show, Maranatha.